How's it going today, guys? Today I'm going to start work on changing out my power steering pump on my 2002. It's a Dodge Ram quad cab, and I have the 5.9 Cummins and an automatic transmission. And I just want to kind of show you the steps I go through, you know, and this isn't a video for guys that know what they're doing. I'm not sure it's a video considered a tutorial either. I just want to hold the camera over my shoulder, and guys that know less than me maybe can pick a few things up, and guys that know more than me can tell me a few things about what I'm doing. But let me go ahead and turn the camera and show you what's going on. So if we look at the ground under there, I'm not sure you can see it or not. I have a container that is catching the power steering fluid. And what happened was about maybe 3 weeks ago, and for whatever reason, with this truck, it seems like cold weather is bad for power steering pumps. But 3 weeks ago, it was the first morning that was below 30. The power steering pump was making all kinds of noise. And I let it warm up for a while and the noise went away. And that's pretty much how it was on cold mornings until about 5 days ago when I started the truck, put it in drive, and I had absolutely no brakes and I had no power steering either, which told me that the power steering pump was shot. And this truck, again, I said it was an 02, and I think we're somewhere around 175,000. And this is the third power steering pump I've had put in it. Well, actually, I've had two put in, and we're going to give her a shot this time. So right down there is the power steering pump. And the way Dodge does it, the Dodge Diesels do it, is there's a gear in the front of the bay that powers the vacuum pump, which then powers the power steering pump. So as we look in here, right here, this is all of our vacuum coming out for the truck. And then this piece right in here is our vacuum pump. And then you can see barely where the screwdriver's pointing there, there's like a coupling of some sort, and that drives the power steering pump. And then on the back of the power steering pump, we're looking at the cap, there's two low pressure hoses that go in there way down below, and then there's also a high pressure hose that comes out. And from the research I've done, they're telling me that it doesn't matter which way you put the low pressure hoses back, although it shouldn't be too hard to figure out because the way they're coiled will, you know, they'll want to coil a certain way, but it shouldn't matter either way. And honestly, I'm strongly considering replacing my my power steering hoses. I don't know if you can see down in there. See down there, that's the power steering hose that comes out of the steering box, and it's looking pretty rusted. There we go. It's looking pretty rusted, and I mean, you know, the truck is an 02, and I've never done the hoses, so it wouldn't really hurt to go ahead and replace the hoses as well. I did not order the hoses. But as we're looking at the pump this way, we can get this to stay in place. The vacuum pump here, Cummins does have a kit to rebuild the vacuum pump, and in here, where this coupling is, there is a seal of some sort to keep engine oil out, and I'd like to go ahead and replace that too. I'll be honest, I kind of got caught in the analysis paralysis, and I've been watching YouTube videos. Here we go. Been watching YouTube videos for days on how to do that, So today I want to go ahead and get started. There's two ways to go about taking this apart. There's a little bracket underneath the power steering pump, which I'll show you in a minute. You can take off that bracket. There's an oil line underneath the vacuum pump, and then there's two bolts on the front. There's one right here on the vacuum pump and one somewhere in the back. You take those two bolts off and the vacuum pump should slide back. And you got to disconnect this too. The other thing you can do is disconnect the 4 bolts on the power steering pump, and that might be the easier way if all you're going for is the power steering pump. But access is very limited underneath. I mean, very limited. And I'm just looking now and I see there's another loom. So here's our vacuum pump, but then there's another loom on one of the 4 bolts for the power steering pump. Right down there. I don't know if we can see that or not. Not the top bolt over there, but the bolt below that. There's another little loom that you need to take off. The last guys that did this pump about a year ago, they never replaced on the back of this pump. You know, they use the same pump for different vehicles. There's a couple of spots for studs, and they never replaced the caps for those studs. So I basically just got green things sticking out of the pump, and I'll show you that later when we take it out. But to me, it's just a way for moisture to get in there, for fluid, power steering fluid to leak. Let's go ahead and get you guys underneath and see if we can show you what's going on underneath. So here's our front differential, and we're moving up, and here's the pitman arm, and pretty much right above the pitman arm is where we're going to look for the power steering pump. And that's the steering box. And this may be the only time we try to film under here. This is really a pain. So right here, there's only one oil feed line for the vacuum pump. So that comes off of the block and goes underneath the vacuum pump. And then right here, this is the bottom stud farthest from the motor. I'm not sure. No, this is the bottom stud closest to the motor. And if you see, there's a bracket on it. The bracket is very easy to get to. Right there and right there. And then this bolt up here, the closest bolt, top bolt closest to the motor, this could be tricky to get to. I gave it a shot with an 18-inch 3/8 ratchet, with fine teeth, and it was moving. So that might do the trick up there. And then the only other thing under here to look at is right there, right at the bottom of the screen. That's as good as I can do. That is the bottom bolt that mounts the vacuum pump. All I've really done so far is just get ready. So I put a couple chocks behind the rear wheels. I did go ahead and jack up the tires because first off, that pitman arm might be in the way, so I might want to move the pitman arm to get a wrench in there when I'm working on it. And second, you know, once we get all this done, we're going to need to bleed the system, and apparently bleeding the system involves moving the wheels back and forth a whole ton. So we got, you know, the truck jacked off the ground. I did disconnect the batteries just to make sure that I don't hit anything and cause a short somewhere. So there's the negatives disconnected, and then I got this cool Spider-Man towel to cover the schmoo I put on the batteries to keep them from corroding and also keep me from scratching the car. And then what I want to do now, you know, what my first and possibly the only thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to disconnect this clamp right here, take that off, and then follow this down below, and you can get to the same exact clamp down below and take that off, which will give me a little bit more room to work. And once I get those off, I'll stuff a rag in there, and I'm probably going to even do some blue painter's tape on these, just because I'm really not sure how long this truck is going to be out of service. I'm still going to probably have to order some parts. It's almost Christmas season, and it could take like a week to get them. So I want to keep junk out of there, and I want to prevent the mice from getting in and building nests in my truck. For today, we'll see if we can get this guy off, and then maybe start loosening up some wires, one step at a time. Here's our front axle on the driver's side, moving across the wheel, and then up. And this is where the, is it called the intercooler? This is where the intercooler is, and you see how this band clamp is right in the right spot to loosen. I've just got a 7/16 ratcheting wrench to loosen that up. And the one thing I'm noticing is these intercooler, these rubber fittings are you know, they've been there for a while, so they're pretty tight. So I'll give them a wiggle and hopefully they'll come off. I'll probably spray them a little bit of silicone before I put them back on. But what I'll probably do is, if it doesn't go well, I'll see if I can find maybe some of those picks you use for coolant hoses and use those to get under there and loosen that up a little bit. The best thing to get these clamps off is to hit them with, I hit them with some PB Blaster, whatever you've got, you know, that loosens up the rust on the threads. I don't think it's very good to get this stuff on these, this could be rubber, so, you know, if you get it on there, wipe it off real quick. I just did my best not to get it on. These clamps were actually pretty much stuck to this piece here, so they do come off, but I had to kind of pry it up. You know, I took the clamp off all the way and then pried up, and there's quite a bit of metal here, so I'm having trouble pushing this down. I suppose, let me go try the bottom first. I didn't get the bottom off yet. The bottom has to move down as well. So maybe if I can get the bottom off, then I can take the top off and not have to take this elbow off. If not, I'm probably going to just take off, there's 4 screws, 4 bolts over here, 1 for the dipstick, and I can just take this piece off, which will give me room to work. Okay guys, well, the band clamp at the bottom gave me some issues, so I had to cut it to get it off. And you know, I bought this thing years ago. I'm sure that doesn't look like this anymore, but this guy here is a handy little thing for cutting things like this band clamp. You just get yourself a good bimetal hacksaw blade. This one was kind of tight, and I didn't want the blade to be too long and bump into the aluminum of the, I believe it's the intercooler. So I just took some metal snips, snipped it short, and it took a little bit of patience, but I zipped through this guy and got it off. So we need, first part we need is a new band clamp, and then to get that hose loose without breaking it, I am going to go out and see if I can find some coolant hose loosener, you know, coolant hose picks. So basically today we've set up, and haven't really taken anything apart, but the good thing about getting started is I know what's next, I know what I need, and I think the reason I was kind of putting off getting started was because I knew that this truck is old and every bolt is going to be a fight or possibly be stripped. So this is the end of day 1, guys, or afternoon 1. Have a good one.